Is single sideband suppressed carrier. Yesterday we discussed about, or in the previous two classes, we have spoken about the frequency domain analysis and the frequency discrimination method, also known as filtering method of generating SSB-SC signal. So we have spoken about that filtering method, and that is the most commonly asked method in the exam. This time domain equation and based on that the phase discrimination method for SSB-SC generation is also another useful technique, but unfortunately it hasn't been mentioned exclusively in your syllabus. But even then they have asked the same thing in the examination. So what we'll do, we'll not go in depth about this part, but at least the basics we will touch upon, because if I have to talk about the time domain equation and derivation, I have to discuss something known as Hilbert transforms. We have a concept of Hilbert transforms. Here, I'll not give you the complete equation and go in depth. I'll tell you the easiest way of what is a Hilbert transform and how it is defined. Okay. So Hilbert transform of any signal, say a given signal x of t is cos 2 pi fct. Then the Hilbert transform of this signal x of t would be the 90-degree out of phase version of this. So cos 2 pi fct minus pi by 2 minus 90-degree. Okay. So this concept where given any signal x of t, you pass it through a circuit known as Hilbert transformer, you will be getting a signal which is 90-degree out of phase with this signal. So this is a 90-degree phase shifting network basically. And usually it is a phase lag which we give. So given value, given angle, so 2 pi fct is an angle in the form theta. From that you subtract pi by 2, whatever, 90-degree. You're going to get the Hilbert transform of that signal. And take care, look at this representation. The cap, this right angle triangle like this. I mean right angle, what we represent a right angle, right? So a cap like this is used to represent the Hilbert transform of a given signal. Okay. So can you tell me how do you find this? Usually we need to write it in the form cos 90 minus 2 pi fct rather than this form. And in cosine, even if I interchange these two, cos of minus theta is cos theta itself. It's an even signal. So there won't be any change in sign. What is this? What is cos 90 minus theta? Yes, sine 2 pi fct. Therefore, if a given signal is a cosine, its Hilbert transform would be a sine. Okay. Similarly, I am interested in these two signals. If the given signal is a sine, can you tell me what would be its Hilbert transform? What is x cap of t? You know this is the representation for Hilbert transform. It is sine 2 pi fct minus pi by 2, which can be written as, I should write it as minus sine of pi by 2 minus 2 pi fct, right? Because when I'm interchanging the positions, I should multiply with a minus sign, and sine of minus theta is minus sine theta. We know that sine comes outside. How much is sine of 90 minus theta?
Cos theta.
Cos theta. So cos 2 pi fct. And I already have a minus sign. So please remember these two transformations. So given a signal, if you need to find the 90-degree phase shifted version of the signal, or a signal which has a 90-degree phase lag with the given signal, then we apply something known as Hilbert transforms. There is much more to this Hilbert transforms. I'm not giving you the exact equation and everything. So I'm just telling you in simplest forms how to find the Hilbert transform. So given any signal, since we are interested in cosines and sines, sinusoids we are working with whenever we do modulation, right? So I'll just show you how to find the Hilbert transform of a cos and a sine. Given a cos signal, so you just given cos 2 pi fct, you just need to find cos of 2 pi fct minus pi by 2. And since we have to write it in this form, that minus sign will get absorbed in the cosine because it's an even signal. Whereas in the sine, the minus sign will be exclusively present even at the output. So these are the two basic Hilbert transforms which we need to know. Based on this, I'll give you a simple technique to get the time domain expression. Since this was asked in the exam once, or I think in 2 papers, that's why I'm doing this. Though this is not exclusively mentioned in syllabus, please remember, but it is asked. So simple technique to obtain, this is not the exact technique. I'm just giving you an easy way to obtain time domain expression of SSB SC signal. You should be curious to know how the SSB SC signal is represented in time domain. Since we have seen for standard AM and DSB SC, let's also see how the SSB SC signal would be represented. So we'll use the simple technique. I'm just considering the same technique where the message gets multiplied with the carrier using a product modulator like this, and the output of this is fed to a band pass filter to get the required SSB signal. Okay. So let's consider, let the output here. What would be the output here? V1 of t. V1 of t. It's a DSB SC signal. Please remember, whenever I multiply message with carrier, you always get a DSB SC signal. So V1 of t is message into carrier AC cos 2 pi FC t. So to get the expression, I'll just go to single tone. Let M of t be a single tone message AM cos 2 pi FM t. Okay. So this is a single tone message. I'm telling you, this is a very simple technique to get the equation. This is not the exact technique which we do. So in the exact technique, it's much more complicated analysis mathematically. Okay. We'll be using complex envelope and Hilbert transform, everything. So here, if I substitute this is equation 1, this is equation 2. Using equation 2 in 1, what do you get? V1 of t is what? M of t and this. So AC cos 2 pi FCT into AM cos 2 pi FMT. It's just a product. So if I take this AC AM outside, this is in the form cos A into cos B, right? What would you get? Cos of A plus B, FC plus FM into T plus cos of what? A minus B, correct? How many times we have done this? And divided by 2, right? You shouldn't forget divided by 2. Cos A into cos B is always written as cos of A plus B plus cos of A minus B. Okay. Now, what is this cos of A plus B? Say if I try to draw the spectrum for this, if I try to draw the spectrum directly here, I told you from the equation you can directly draw the spectrum. Corresponding to every cosine, you will have what? 2 components. and at what frequency? Fc plus, so if this is Fc, at Fc plus Fm, you will have one component. Remember, corresponding to cosine, it is always two impulses, delta F minus Fc plus Fm plus delta F plus Fc plus Fm, right? This is how we have two impulses. See what many of you have done in the internals. You have considered the single tone signal and you have written the spectral equation for single tone, but in the spectrum you have used that band limited spectrum like this. You have written this equation, but you have represented the spectrum as band limited. You needn't have done for single tone. In that question 2a, if you remember, you were asked to write the spectrum of AM. You could have simply done for regular band limited message. In that case, your spectrum should be like this: M of F plus Fc and M of F plus and M of F minus Fc. Only then you can use this triangular or band limited signal representation. You have written this equation, but you have written the spectrum like this. They don't correlate with each other or match. So please take care. Whenever it is a single tone message, then it is always a line spectrum like this, because you will have impulses to replace the cosine. So here at minus Fc, I will have another line. Sorry, not minus Fc. Where should I have? Yes. Where should it be? The mirror image of this signal. If this is at Fc plus Fm, the image of this signal will be at
Fc minus Fm.
Yes, minus Fc minus Fm. This would represent the first term here. Please take care to see that the first cosine will be represented by these two impulses, right? And what is the amplitude level? For everything, the amplitude level is AMAC by 2. You can see here. If I write a two-sided spectrum, I should divide this amplitude by another 2. So it becomes AMAC by 4. Why should I divide by 2? Because cosine is equal to sum of two impulses divided by 2, right? Every cosine signal is a sum of two impulses by 2. So the amplitude becomes by 4 whenever you do a two-sided spectrum. For the same thing, if you write one-sided spectrum, you need not even divide the amplitude. Keep it the same. Many times I am telling you the same thing so that the concept is clear for you. Now, so this represents which sideband? This represents the upper sideband available. So if I retain only this part, I am going to retain the upper sideband. Whereas, supposing, how do I represent this signal? Sum of two impulses, F minus what? Fc minus Fm plus delta F plus Fc minus Fm. So what does that represent? I should mark the point Fc minus Fm. I'll get one impulse here, and the mirror image minus Fc plus Fm. You'll get this image. This corresponds to LSB, right? And these things correspond to USB. So what you can notice is in this equation, if I want a single sideband, if I want to retain only, say, to retain only USB, what should we do? If I want only USB retained, I should take out only this part. You should have a filter to take out only this part. So, using band pass filter, we have drawn the band pass filter here. I showed you the diagram. It's the same diagram I told. After multiplication, I'll use a band pass filter to filter out one required sideband. Because I'm interested in generating single sideband signal, I'll use a band pass filter to filter out one required sideband. And what would you get? Output, say V2 of t after band pass filter. after BPF to filter. BPF was designed to filter upper sideband, let me say. What would the output of the filter be? It would be AC AM by 2 cos 2 pi Fc plus Fm of t. This is the upper sideband. Among the two cosines, the carrier plus message component is always upper sideband. The component which is above the carrier frequency will be USB. The component below the carrier frequency, Fc minus Fm, will be LSB. Okay. So you get this signal after filtering, let me assume. Now to get the exact expression for SSB. So this is supposed to be our what? SSB signal. This V2 of T is supposed to be the SSB signal. Okay. And if you want, I'll write it as USB because I have filtered out USB. SU of T or SUSB of T. It's the same. Now, I want you to expand this in the form of cos A plus B. How do you expand it in trigonometry? What is cos of A plus B? Anybody?
Cos A cos B minus sin A sin B.
Yes, cos A cos B cos 2 pi FMT minus sin 2 pi FCT into sin 2 pi FMT. Cos A cos B minus sin A sin B. Okay. So please remember this. This is the expansion. Now what I'll do, I'll take the amplitudes again. Let me keep AC by 2 outside and cos 2 pi FCT into AM cos 2 pi FMT. I'm just putting this AM with the message cosine minus again AC by 2, what? Sin 2 pi FCT into AM sin 2 pi FMT. So, can you tell me what did we call AM cos 2 pi FMT as? It is nothing but the actual message M of T. Yes or no? See, we said let M of T be represented like this. So, I'll replace AM cos 2 pi FMT with M of T. Can I do that? It's nothing but the message. So, to get this equation for SSB SC, in place of this signal, I'm going to put M of T, and this signal I'll keep it as it is, AC cos 2 pi FCT into M of T minus AC by 2 sin 2 pi FCT. Can somebody tell me what can I put for AM sin 2 pi FMT? Using the concept of
Hilbert transform of the message.
Exactly, the Hilbert transform of the message, M cap of T. Please remember, I showed you if M of T is AM cos 2 pi FMT, then M cap of T would be AM cos 2 pi FMT minus pi by 2, which would give you AM sin 2 pi FMT. So I have a positive sign. I'll write it as M cap of T. Now, this is the actual time domain equation for the SSB SC signal where upper sideband is retained or upper sideband is filtered. Time domain equation of SSB SC with USB retained. Okay. So this is a very simple way of getting the time domain. Look at the complexity of the time domain equation. It's not a simple equation like before. There you would have a product or you would have a sum of amplitudes into a single cosine. The first case. DSB FC, full carrier. Next, DSB SC is just much more simple, message into carrier, that's all. Whereas SSB SC is represented by the message component into in-phase carrier. Cosine means in-phase carrier, and here the Hilbert transform, 90-degree phase shifted version of the message into quadrature carrier. Sine means it is quadrature carrier. I told you the two signals which are in 90-degree phase shift with each other are said to be in phase quadrature, right? So you have the sine and cosine as signals in phase quadrature. So this is the in-phase component, this is the quadrature phase component, and actual message is multiplied with in-phase carrier, whereas the 90-degree phase shifted version, Hilbert transform of the message, is multiplied with quadrature carrier. So please remember this. Now, can you tell me what would be the equation for if I have to retain LSB? Equation for LSB retained. How do I start with?
Ma'am, we'll have the same but with a plus sign.
Exactly. Why? Can you tell me why a plus sign?
Ma'am, because we'll have cos of A minus B. When we expand that, we'll get cos A cos B plus sin A sin B.
Yes. See here, this is your LSB component. As you can see, this second part here, this corresponds to LSB component, which is cos of A minus B. So if you filter out this LSB component, say I am filtering out this LSB component, you will take out this term. Okay. So all you will do is, all you would be doing is you will have AM AC by 2 cos of 2 pi FC minus FM into T. This is your LSB filtered out. Now, this you should expand in the same form. This will become cos 2 pi what? FCT into cos 2 pi FMT plus sin 2 pi FCT into sin 2 pi FMT. So you're going to have a plus here, and if you take this AM inside, if I put this AM here and here, what would you get? You will get the same equation, AC by 2 cos 2 pi FCT into M of T. AM cos 2 pi FMT is M of T plus AC by 2 sin 2 pi FCT into AM sin 2 pi FMT is M cap of T. So this would be the equation for LSB signal SL of T. I hope you understood the difference. So this is about the time domain expression. Now based on this expression, is it possible for us to draw the waveform in time domain? Yes or no? It is possible, but it is not easy. You have to consider all the components and then you have to draw the waveform. Or you should make a table by substituting different values of this M of T, FC of T, find the sine, cosine, and then from the table you should plot the waveform. So it's not a simple waveform in time domain. So we will not bother to write that waveform. Writing the wave shape of an SSB SC signal would be quite difficult in time domain. Okay. So based on this, we'll just do the phase discrimination method of SSB SC generation. So this is the second method to generate SSB SC signal, and this is exactly based on the time domain equation. So whatever equation you have in the time domain, that is implemented in the form of a generation technique. We will draw the block diagram exactly to implement the equation. So here the LSB is visible. So let me, based on this equation, can you tell me what blocks should be included? You should have the message signal, and first thing is you should get the Hilbert transform or 90-degree what? Phase shift version of the message. So I should be getting m cap of t, right? I need m of t in one part and I need m cap of t in another part. Yes or no? So I should generate, I have the message will be given. I'll pass it through a 90-degree phase shift network and I'll get m cap of t. The first part is done. What next? Now this m of t should be multiplied with what? M of t will be multiplied with an in-phase carrier. So what is this carrier? I can directly say whether I write the amplitude as AC or AC by 2, it won't make any difference. So I'll say AC cos 2 pi FCT. So m of t multiplied with AC cos 2 pi FCT comes in the upper channel. I got the first term realized. How will I get the second term? Whatever cosine is generated by this oscillator, this is a local oscillator generating the cosine, that should also be passed through what? 90-degree phase shift. It should also be passed through a 90-degree phase shifted version to give us the sine carrier AC sine 2 pi FCT. And what should I do now? I should multiply this AC sine 2 pi FCT with m cap of t. M cap of t is here. So I'll multiply that. So did I get both the terms of the equation? First term I'm getting from the upper path. Second term I'm getting from the lower path. Now what should I do? I should just use a adder or a summing circuit. You can call it as sigma summing circuit, and this, the lower part can be either with a minus sign. This will always be positive, the upper one. The lower end can be either with a minus sign or plus sign. If the sign is subtracted from this, I am going to get USB. Yes or no? If I have a minus sign here, I am going to get USB. Or if I have a plus sign, if the sign is added to the cos, you are going to get LSB. So this is the simple circuit to help generate what? Help generate the SSB-SC signal. Okay. So I want all of you to actively participate in answering. Either you unmute and answer or at least put on the chat. I think next time I'm going to consider whether you answer or not to give attendance. Rather than taking attendance, I have to see how many of you would be listening throughout. You people join in whenever you want and you don't even open your mouth. So please see that you post answers on chat or you unmute and answer when I ask questions. Okay. So this is phase, only 3 people I see are answering regularly. I think I need not mention who those 3 are. So the phase discrimination method of SSB-SC generation involves this circuit or block diagram. Very simple. We got it directly from the time domain equation. That's why for this reason, I wanted to show you what is the time domain equation of SSB-SC and how to generate the signal. So all you need to explain here is you just have to, when you're explaining the working, we'll not write it now. Anyway, we know. You just say the message signal is multiplied with the in-phase carrier. Okay. The in-phase carrier AC cos 2 pi FCT to get m of t into AC cos 2 pi FCT. And this message is shifted in phase by 90 degrees to obtain m cap of t or Hilbert transform. Similarly, the carrier is also shifted in phase by 90 degree to obtain the quadrature phase carrier sine 2 pi fct. So this is the quadrature channel. Okay, and once they are multiplied, then we either add both the components to get LSB or we subtract the sine from the cos to get USB. That's all. That represents the phase discrimination method of SSB-SC generation. Is this clear to all of you? Any doubts in this? Please ask if you have any doubts. Please unmute yourself and ask if you have any doubts. I channel means in-phase channel. Here, since I'm using the in-phase carrier in the upper line, I'll call this as I channel, this as Q channel. The lower one is always called Q channel because I'm using the quadrature shifted carrier. Sine carrier, if I use, it is Q channel. I channel is in-phase channel. Okay. Any other doubts? No? Again, you don't answer to questions. This is the problem. So please remember from now onwards, if you want attendance, you should answer. Anyway, or please unmute and ask rather than replying on chat, it would be better. Anyway, with this, we complete SSB-SC and coming to the advantages and disadvantages of SSB. You can see the screen, I think. You see the advantages of SSB modulation. First thing, it requires only half the bandwidth which we needed for AM and DSB-SC. Both AM and DSB-SC needed a bandwidth of 2 FM or 2 W, depending upon which type of message we used, right? So you need only half of that here. And one more thing, what happens, because we are suppressing the carrier also, we are suppressing one sideband, we retain only one sideband, power would be saved. So you would save the power because you are suppressing both carrier as well as one sideband. And there will be reduced interference of noise because the bandwidth of the signal itself is less. So the amount of interference coming from noise will also be less. And fading doesn't occur in SSB transmission. Any idea what is fading? Does anyone know what is fading? Yes or no? No? Fading is a technique where the noise in the channel or noise added by the receiver components gets multiplied with the received signal. So whatever signal is moving in the channel, when noise gets multiplied with that signal, then it is called fading. It results in a lot of distortion in the signal. It results in a fast degradation of the signal. The signal will degrade very fast and very often it won't be possible for us to recover the signal properly if the signal is experiencing high levels of fading. So fading is a phenomenon where noise gets multiplied with the signal when it is moving through the channel or at the receiver. Okay. So this type of fading will not happen in SSB-SC. That is one superior advantage of SSB-SC. Usually when we do the analysis with respect to noise in the next module, we'll be considering only additive noise. We don't consider multiplicative noise because dealing with multiplicative noise is very, very difficult and at your level, it would be too much of a problem. So usually we speak of additive noise and we consider the effect of additive noise here. Okay. but fading happens in many different, so generally there will be fading effects also, there will be additive noise also. So this mobile communication, satellite, everywhere fading will also happen. And this fading is minimum in SSB. That's one advantage. Anyway, disadvantages. Naturally, you saw generation and reception will both be a complex process. Can you tell me what is the method of demodulation? Anybody guess? What method of demodulation we can use? It is a suppressed carrier signal. Whenever we have suppressed carrier, the best method for demodulation is coherent detection. Remember, with double sideband suppressed carrier, we did know. Same coherent detection technique can be used with SSB-SC detection also. But here we are not studying detection as it's not included for us. Okay. So SSB-SC detection is also done using coherent detection or synchronous detection. That's the best way. But just like how we did in DSB-SC, we can have a reduced carrier, or let's say a reinserted carrier to the received signal, and we can use envelope detector also. Okay. So the reception of SSB-SC signal is another complicated process where we should use either coherent detection. In coherent detection, getting that coherence, that synchronization between receiver and transmitter is a great headache. We should use Costa's loop and so many ways of getting that synchronization. Okay. But in excuse me. But if I do carrier reinsertion and envelope detection, again, there are many problems there. We saw some of the problems when we discussed with respect to DSB-SC. Similar problems will be with respect to SSB-SC also. Okay. So both generation and detection is a very complicated process in SSB-SC, and surely it will be highly expensive. When you need more components, more complexity, expense also increases. And since the carrier and one sideband is suppressed, the frequency stability of this system is a bit lesser. So it is not a very highly stable system. Okay, these are the disadvantages. And finally, the applications. We use it in mobile communication system to save. It is also used in telemetry, military applications, and for radio navigation. Okay. So it is used in all these applications. These are some of the important applications of SSB-SC. So with this, we finished SSB-SC.